Hello, everybody. I'm Mel Doerr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and it is cold here in Chicago. We're having a heat wave of -1, but with the wind chill, it's like 35 below. And I have the magnificent, the wonderful, the great Arthur in the house.
Who?
And he's in LA where it's probably nice and warm.
It's about 59.
It's the heat wave.
That's swimming weather for you today.
And we've got Sherry Hinkle in the background pulling strings, and I just spoke with her. And I've got my friend, another friend in Louisiana, and she sent me pictures today. They had something unprecedented. Sherry Hinkle of Voices from the Swamp, give her a thumbs up, subscribe, says that they got 6 to 9 inches, and it has never happened. So climate change is upon us, and it is real, you all.
Yeah, it's scary.
Well, for us in Chicago, it's just kind of a normal winter, but
yeah, but when you're down by the Gulf and it's snowing, it's crazy.
Coldest I can remember here was this was about, let's see, in 2018. The actual temperature, not chill factor, the actual temperature was 25 below. But thank goodness there was no wind blowing, because that would have been brutal.
I tell my friend in Fairbanks, I don't know how she does it.
Oh,
I have no idea.
What's that song by Johnny Horton? When it's springtime in Alaska,
Yeah.
40 below.
Yeah.
Sherry said we're under blizzard warnings all day. It didn't stop snowing until around 3 p.m. Wow. I see Kevin Chandler in the house.
Hey, Kevin.
Becky Gilberto, one of our friends, got pictures from our other friend in Louisiana with lots of snow. I got those pictures too, Becky. 6 to 8 inches for us here in Chicago is nothing, but it's a lot for folks, that far south. So it'll probably be 70 in like a few days.
Yeah.
Peg said, Mother Nature is mad about what happened yesterday. Oh, she certainly is.
Actually, Mother Nature is in overload right now.
I didn't even watch. I couldn't.
I was sick in bed the last 2 days, so.
Lisa Foster says Louisville, Kentucky got 10.5 inches of snow, then ice, and 3 days later another 6 inches of snow. Yes, my niece lives in Lexington, and 2 or 3 big trees came down, and she ended up having to pay thousands to get those cut down all the way. But Lisa, when I was a kid growing up in Louisville, every winter it snowed. I've got pictures of me from 1965. I was just young, and with my German Shepherd Susie, and there was snow in the backyard. And so we'd go sleigh riding every year. We'd get days off from school because of snow. And then, with climate change, it slowly stopped. So that's a lot of snow for Louisville. I mean, 2 or 3 inches in certain southern states, things stop. They got 10.5 inches of snow is a lot for Louisville. And then the ice. Yeah, that's a lot. Sherry Hinkle said something about, what did she just put something up? I forgot what it was. I was here. Oh, wow. I'm at the Texas Gulf Coast, 8 inches of snow in my town.
Right.
Wow.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
I remember seeing back in October there was going to be
Sherry said they're going to say temperatures are in the 70s next week in Louisiana. But what's going to happen when all that snow melts off, Arthur?
Well, it's called flooding.
Flooding. And I hope we're wrong.
Yeah.
We have predicted flooding and a lot of precipitation. Never dreamed it would be like this, but
I know, it's crazy. And like I said, back in October, I remember saying Arctic blasts. And I didn't see it this far south, though.
Yeah, me either. Becky Gilberto says, love to Sherry. Here we go. Barbie Pomala says, I was told climate change was fake news. Yeah, well, have
Yeah,
they
it's all.
been outside lately? Anyway, all righty. Okay, I'm just starring some things as we go along.
Okay.
All right. Diva369 says the only part from yesterday to watch is when Bishop shamed Trump for his unchristian policies. I saw that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to thank her. There was a conservative Catholic bishop from New York, and I'm going to write a letter to the Vatican about that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad there was, I think she was a bishop, that she pled for Trump to have mercy on LGBTQ and all of those things. And he just sat there. Melania was like this.
And then afterwards, he said he didn't like it.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Well, afterwards, the press asked him what he thought of the sermon or the service, and he turned around and said, "Well, what did you think?" I didn't like it at all.
Well, he didn't like it because she was a woman calling him out on his stuff.
Exactly.
You know, he pardoned all the January.
It's nice he's putting felons back on the street.
Well, he's a felon.
Yeah, exactly.
But
these are the guys that actually assaulted the police officers. He's putting back on the street.
I see Kevin Chandler in the house. Hi, Kevin Chandler. Sherry did some short videos today showing the snowfall, Rose Blue says. You know, many of us have predicted, and Kevin Chandler had said this too, that, you know, the Republican Party was going to implode on itself, specifically the MAGAs. And I understand, I didn't watch the news, I just got some glimpses of it, but there was a pushback from Republican senators because Trump pardoned those, the insurrectionists from January the 6th. So there's going to be a lot of fallout about that one, I'm telling you.
Well, especially the Oath Keeper guy.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yes. So, you know, his executive orders are already facing
lawsuits,
legal pushbacks, especially with, you know, what did he say that that the American government only recognizes male and female gender, and so that transgendered won't be allowed to work in the government. Is that what he said? Something to that effect.
Correct.
Well, I mean, that's going to get tied up in the courts. The other thing is he's putting into effect his 25% tariff, and it's going to be wildly inflationary to the Mexicans and the Canadians.
Right.
And my guides tell me we're in for a huge inflationary period, specifically with cars, car parts, gas, food and alcoholic beverages, fruits, veggies, all of that.
Electronics,
that's right.
Yeah.
So,
also, you know, wood.
Yep.
We export a lot of wood from Canada.
And my guides are telling me there's going to be a huge scandal about Trump and Musk and this whole cryptocurrency thing, and about how much money they're making on it and how they're using taxpayers' money to fund it. And that's just his first day in office.
Right. And now those people that have lost millions in that crypto thing he did. It's insane.
Well, I had predicted, you know, my guides had shown me that they were going to they were going to buy up a lot of crypto. Okay. Mm-hmm. That inflates the price.
Pump and dump.
Get people to buy it at an inflated price. Then they dump it back into the market. It brings the price down and they make a lot of money on it. And that's exactly what happened. My guides were right on about that.
Remember years ago, it would be like you get an envelope and you have like 3 names on it, 4 names on it. Put $10 in the envelope and give it to the person at the top. Remember those?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Same thing.
Sherry, you're behind the scenes there. So I'm going to get to some of the starred ones. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So our first one would be, let's see. Oops, where did it go? Oh, there we go. Laurie Scryer says, do you think Trump will kick out Elon Musk and then Musk tells how Trump stole the election? I'll let you start with that one, Arthur.
I feel there's going to be discourse between Trump and Elon Musk, but he can't turn around and say how Trump stole the election because he's part of it.
Well, he even said, or Trump even said,
He said it. Yeah. That guy knows computers. We got a landslide in Pennsylvania.
Bingo. So that alone should be enough for them to start
inquiry.
Well, I think they're already looking at things behind the scenes, but Trump's going to say, oh, it was just a joke. I was just joking. But I'm telling you, it's going to come out full force about what happened in Pennsylvania and a lot of those other states.
Correct.
And they're going to be able to prove, beyond a reasonable doubt that there was cheating.
Yeah.
And I wonder what that would do. Then they would have to impeach Donald Trump. I don't know how that would. I would ask a lawyer friend of mine. Probably go to the Supreme Court. Wow. Sherry Voices from the Swamp. LA got 10 inches. What?
Louisiana got 10
Louisiana,
inches.
I'm sorry. Got 10 inches. People in Mobile, Alabama were sledding in their kayaks, the Gulf Blizzard of 2025. It's Alabama, Florida, and Georgia at the moment. Wow. Okay.
Around the Gulf of America?
The Gulf of America. Okay, Everything Gold says, have you all seen Republicans in Louisiana passing draconian divorce laws? Oh, they're passing draconian divorce laws. Like they are trying hard to get rid of no-fault divorces. Well, that would go to the Supreme Court, I think. And I don't know what the court would do if they would even hear it.
I don't feel they'll be able to pass get rid of no-fault divorce.
Correct. I mean,
I don't see that.
Well, they might think they get it through for a while, but I see some kind of Supreme Court. I don't know if that's in the state of Louisiana or the United States Supreme Court saying, no, you can't do that.
Right. You can have the Bible, but you can't do no-fault divorce.
Okay. David J. says, hi, boys. Looking forward to another Tuesday night get-together. What are you getting on the crazy weather? Texas, Louisiana, and the Florida Panhandle. It's crazy. What do you think, Arthur?
Well, it's going to continue. And as we get into late spring, I feel there'll be early tornadoes. As we get into summer, hurricanes, it's nuts.
I think we're going to see a lot of more hurricanes flipping up through the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. I also feel that later this winter, a lot of Arctic blasts up in New England too, through New York and stuff.
You know, my psychic flash cube just went on. I see major damage to Mar-a-Lago coming because of a hurricane. No, I do.
I'm supposed to wish that on bad.
The light bulb went on. You know, they've added a category 6, so they will. And I see those hurricanes flipping up through the Gulf, and they're going to just go up through the whole state, you know, of Florida and Alabama and Louisiana as well. And then the ones coming in from the Atlantic.
Yeah.
I see we're in for a lot more of these freak storms, huge blizzards, huge rainstorms, deluge of rain.
And I don't think we should give any aid to the people because they know the hurricanes are coming. They build houses. Just kidding. Like what they said to Gavin Newsom with that Los Angeles fires.
Right. Sandy Johnson said Trump made $80 billion in his crypto scam. Yep.
He's now listed on paper as the 24th richest person in the world.
But somebody's going to say that was a scam, and they knew it was like insider trading. And at some point, I see legislation coming to stop that. That's why he was pushing crypto. That's before, you know, Trump tells you everything he's going to do. Right. That's why before he was elected, didn't he say he was going to make cryptocurrency like our currency or something? Well, that's not going to happen.
And did you see those $2 Melania bills?
Yeah.
That are supposedly legal tender?
Throw darts at them. Now I know why he said that. He always tells you what he's going to do because he was cooking up a scam.
Yeah.
It's going to come out that he scammed the American public in the election and every other thing he's done. And a lot of senators in the Republican Party are going to start speaking out against him.
They're afraid of him right now, but I feel that the emperor, they're going to realize is wearing no clothes.
Bingo. Tracy Bird says, hi, Mel and Arthur. Could you please speak on the safety of the Capitol police officers? I have been very concerned since the pardons were announced. Thank you and take care. Well, isn't it amazing how Trump pardons the people who attacked the Capitol police officers, but yet how he's supposed to be so pro-law enforcement and so pro-Secret Service because they're the ones saving his butt. But I even see that police departments all over, everything are going to start protesting against Donald Trump and his actions. You're going to see that. People are going to be protesting in mass, I'm telling you. And it's going to get so bad, there's going to be states even talking about secession. I said that yesterday, and I'm going to keep saying it.
And isn't it amazing? Here Trump is pardoning the people that hurt the police, where Biden was pardoning in blanket the police.
Correct.
Talk about hypocrisy.
Well, there's going to be eye openings, that's for sure. Jackie Lynn says, unfortunately, Trump is supposed to deport legal aliens starting in Chicago. What's happening? Thank you for putting that up, Jackie. You know, there's some crony of Donald Trump, one of his thugs. I'm going to start in Chicago with his illegal aliens. But our governor has said that they have to go through him first, Governor Pritzker. And I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be a lot of people in Chicago protesting. The mayor of Chicago is not going to put up with it. So, you know, they've already threatened the mayor with prosecution if he tries to stop it. But I want to tell you something. There's going to be a lot of people here in Chicago that are going to be giving safe haven to some of these people, provided they don't have felony records like Trump, is going to give safe haven to a lot of these people who have been living here, working here, paying taxes, all that stuff that Trump is going to try to deport. And it's going to be tied up in the courts for so long. But I see, almost like what the Underground Railroad was to slavery, I see this underground safety network coming to help these people that he's trying to deport. And I also foresee that Mexico is not going to accept them, nor will Canada.
Well, he'll ship them somewhere, unfortunately.
I want to hear your take on it, Arthur.
Well, what I've been getting on this, he's going to tackle the blue states first. You know?
Yeah, because they're blue.
The man's so petty. Do you see this happening in Miami?
No.
You know where Mr. DeSantis lives? No. But I just see it going to blow up. I see lawsuit after lawsuit, even though he is now allowing ICE to go into churches, hospitals, and schools to grab people, which Biden had said was a no-no. Now he got rid of that. It's mean. It's just mean is the bottom line. It's
Nazistic when they broke in places and arrested people without due process, without due cause, nothing.
And what about Elon giving a Nazi salute? I'm sorry. Got a lot of questions about that one.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. At the end, he puts his hand up like Hitler to Trump. It's disgusting.
You know, they're going to try it in Chicago, but I want to tell you something. There's going to be a lot of legal people here who have citizenship that are going to stand up and protest, and it is going to cause massive protest. But I think if ICE broke in the schools are even going to try to protect these children.
Yeah. Well, and also it's just, where does it stop? In the trying to do an executive order to get rid of the 14th Amendment about citizenship.
Well, you can't do that.
Well, you can't do it, but he signed it anyway. Just so, what about his kids?
If that goes to court, It'll have to go to the Supreme Court. He just can't sign an executive order
and get rid of.
and do away with the amendment to the Constitution.
But he just wants to see how far he can take it.
Bingo, that's what he's doing, and the courts are going to say you can't.
But in the meantime, he's creating chaos.
That's what he wants. He wants chaos. That's what he wants, because it's the magician in the tarot deck, doing this over here so he can get his underhanded stuff done over here.
Yeah.
Karen, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then after that, we get the what is it? The Seven of Cups, illusion and delusion.
Right. Illusion, delusion, confusion. Karen Alexander says, how long will Dumpty be in office?
1 day too long. 1 day too many.
I mean, his first day, but he told everybody what he was going to do.
Dictated from day one.
I pick up that he is going to be. Hold on. I pick up that he's going to be in office. I see the number 1.5. I hope it's 1.5 days, but I think maybe 1.5 years. And then at the midterms, I see the Democrats taking back over the House and the Senate. So that's what I see.
When I've looked at this constantly, I keep on getting. I just keep on getting something coming up in March, and then he may be gone by June, July.
So I don't see how his executive order can change the 14th Amendment.
Well, I don't either, but he thinks he can.
Well, the courts are going to say you can't, because it takes an act of Congress, and you have to have X amount to ratify it.
2/3.
2/3. Thank you. Here, the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution defines citizenship, equal protection, and due process. It was ratified in 1868. So you have, like you said, 2/3. All people born or naturalized in the United States are citizens. That's what he's trying to undo.
Yeah.
Equal protection. States cannot make laws that abridge the rights of citizens. States cannot deny equal protection under the law to any person. I'm reading the 14th Amendment. States cannot deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. So he's going to say what defines due process. I'm telling you, the Supreme Court will not uphold his decision. Limits the actions of state and local officials. Hello, Donald. Disqualifies people who engaged in insurrection against the United States from holding public office. But see, technically, Trump pardoned them. So if they've been pardoned, then could they still hold public office?
I have no idea.
So there you go.
But it's just sad.
It is sad, but I see it going to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Lisa, mother of 2 rescues. Oh, we might be rescuing people before it's over.
Yeah.
Hi, Arthur and Mel, sweet boys. Thank you. My question is, they are trying to downplay Muskrat's Nazi salute. Is that a deal breaker for most Americans, or will that be accepted by the powers that be? Thank you. What do you think, Arthur? What do you intuit? What does your psychic wisdom tell you?
That the neo-Nazis loved it.
Exactly.
That it's like, oh, he didn't mean it that way, and just let it go, just let it slide. When it starts happening more often.
My fathers and many of my uncles fought in World War II.
Yeah.
My uncle Delbert was in the Seabees. My dad was in the 36th Heavy Construction Battalion, Signal Corps, I think. I had uncle in Korea. My stepdad has a Bronze Star for Valor in World War II. And they fought to protect the world from the terror of Nazism and fascism and all of that. And when I see somebody standing up there giving the Sieg Heil Nazi salute, I cringe. It's repugnant. My family fought to keep that from happening, and I will fight to keep it from happening. It's a disservice, and you're right. Unfortunately, there are people of that persuasion in this country who probably thought it was wonderful.
Yeah.
But the biggest part of us do not.
Correct.
It's not representative of America. And he's going to be taken down. He will be brought down. And for Trump to even allow that, just
he's never going to correct anybody. I'll just talk behind their back.
Okay, CC Sassy says, do you see the special elections to replace the Congress seats giving the Dems the House? There will be interference in those elections, and that's going to be another thing that comes out. But I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be midterms before the Dems take over the House and the Senate. We might. How many seats do we need for the House?
I think it's 52 to 47.
I think we might pick up 3 seats in the House.
Because the one that's vacant right now is Ohio, for the Viens, and they want to,
I can see us picking up a couple seats in the House.
We'll see. I still feel, even though everybody says, well, they already cheated, how are we going to win in 2 years? They know how they cheated. That's why.
Because we know how they cheated. We'll know.
I feel they already know.
Oh, they do know.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherry says we only need 2 seats to take the House back. Wow. Well, I see a couple seats. So
we'll see.
Okay. So Barbara says, you say Democrats will take back the Senate and the House during the midterms, but Republicans cheated in the last election and got away with it. So how can we win the midterms because they will cheat again? Arthur just answered that because we know how they did it.
But also, if you notice, it was the big ticket item of the presidency that won, where a lot of the other stuff did not.
Correct. Because those states have better control over who's going to go to the House and Senate than they do over the presidential elections.
Right.
There was a lot of cheating going on.
Well, I forget what program it was, but they were showing a ballot where somebody voted for AOC, but then they voted for Trump for president. Does that make sense?
That makes no sense.
Exactly.
A lot's going to come out, I'm telling you. Especially in some of those states where he supposedly won, hands down. But I'm questioning Michigan. I'm questioning certain states. It'll be like, wait a minute here. Okay. Nadja says, can you please read on Trump's executive order to cut birthright citizenship? Does this mean the white country has to evacuate and only indigenous people get to stay? That was a good one.
Yeah. Well, actually, they didn't give them birthright citizenship right away either.
He might try an executive order to cut birthright citizenship, but I'm telling you, it's going to go through the courts. If you're born of American parent, even one American parent, you're an American citizen no matter where you're born. But what he's saying, I think what he's saying is, though, if the parents aren't citizens here and they're here legally and the kid's born here, then they're not going to get American citizenship.
They're looking for anchor babies.
Right. What they call
But at the same time, you have DACA people that are still waiting for their status.
Correct. So I think the courts are going to say no. If they are born in this country, they are American citizens.
Yeah.
Regardless of where their parents.
Not who your parentage is.
Okay. Jenny S. Is the fire in San Diego by arson?
I got no.
No. I
By
think
the way, the winds are whipping up here again in Los Angeles. So
it might have been mistaken. I mean, not mistaken. It might have been accidental. I think a firework or something set it off. And then the wind just,
Yeah.
like pouring gasoline on an ember. You're going to get poof,
say it again. Oof.
Lincoln
Linda.
Lincioni. Oh, Linda Lincioni. I'm sorry. Lincoln's on my mind. What kind of spin is Mega Mike going to put on the snow in Louisiana? He doesn't believe in climate change. That's a good question. What do you think, Arthur?
It's just the way it is. It's God's will.
Oh, it happens every so often. It was a freak storm. It didn't happen that often.
But it has happened in the past and blah, 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 blah.
Blah,
It's not climate change.
Well, yeah, because you know what? If they say there's climate change, they'll have to address the misuse of fossil fuels now, won't they? They don't want to do that.
Yep.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Hey, Kathy.
Hello, wonderful Aloha light worker duo with the orange minion in office. Will this delay climate change initiatives for the United States? Absolutely. But the rest of the world is going to stand up and say it's for real, and we have to do something and pressure us to try to do something.
I do feel eventually, though, we do catch up.
We will. Once, even though Trump is in office, and I just can't believe I'm saying it, this is going to be the downfall of him and the MAGA movement completely.
Mm-hmm. Especially when eggs are $12 a dozen.
But it's going to be hard to get there. But we will get there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Ness, Aloha Shirt Psychic, can we say a prayer for that bishop so she won't get any violence? Yeah, let's do.
Bishop Buddy.
What's her name?
Buddy. Budde.
Budde. I like her. Let's surround Bishop Buddy with the white light of love, protection, tolerance, equality, caring. And let's ask that these people of MAGA who were just voted in office be surrounded by that same white light of love, acceptance, tolerance. We ask that you continue to give Bishop Buddy the strength to do her work, as we know you will, and that she remains safe. All right. Thank you. That was cool. Thanks, Ned.
Send them light till they get it right.
There you go. CN says, what will Dems do now that they know Elon tampered with voting machines per Donald's remark at his rally? Well, behind the scenes, they're already investigating it. You can take that one to the bank.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work if they're gonna have definite proof that there was tampering. So I don't know if they go to the court to see if the court upholds the election. I don't know how that would work now that he's inaugurated.
We've never had to face it before, so
right.
It's unprecedented. We have to unprecedented him.
It would kind of put us in a constitutional crisis, and maybe that's what I'm saying when states are going to talk about secession, and we're going to be very near a civil war. I don't necessarily see a full-on civil war, but very near one. And I do see we're going to be in a constitutional crisis. I just have to focus on seeing how it's going to be resolved.
Yeah. Did you see the one woman from Canada who said, hey, California, Oregon, Washington, why are you becoming Providence of Canada? Free healthcare.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. All right. Oops. Sorry. Oh. Okay. Sorry, Sherry. Karen Carpenter, what will happen to Social Security? We'll still continue to have our Social Security.
Yeah, they'll get everyone scared, but they're not going to be able to do anything.
Right. If you don't support me, I'm going to take away your income. Yeah. All right. Okay.
And if you don't eat your peas, you can't go to
Your piece, you'll get a whooping.
Yeah.
Peggy, will the lawsuits on many of the executive orders stop them from being implemented? Well, they'll try to implement them, but it'll go through the court quickly. And many of these courts are going to say absolutely not. And unless they go in front of Aileen Loose Cannon, we all know she's so far up Trump's what. If he stopped real fast, she'd have brown on her nose for entertainment purposes only.
Oh, I thought she's like hitting his uvula, little punching bag.
That was good. All right. So yes, I do see these lawsuits stopping a lot of his executive orders, especially trying to challenge the 14th Amendment after he just took an oath of office to uphold the Constitution.
Now, did you see that his hand was not really on the Bible when he took the oath?
Well, probably it was upside down.
No, he took one of Lincoln's Bibles, apparently, but his hand was at his side. Whatever.
Wow. Connie B says, "Hi, Connie."
Hi, Connie.
Oh, now that these insurrectionists are pardoned, will the victims and families be suing them in civil court? Let's see, at Mel Doerr, Aloha Psychic, I would. That's a very good question, Connie, and I think that's prophetic, because when you ask that question, again, my psychic light bulb went off, flash cube went off, and it says, yes, they are going to be sued in federal court.
And win.
And then, the insurrectionists are going to be saying, but wait a minute, we're pardoned. We didn't do anything wrong. And it's going to go to the courts, and the courts are going to say, wait a minute, these families have the right, because they were damaged by your actions, to sue you civilly.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be tied up for a couple, 2 or 3 years. But I'm telling you, those families are the families of the victims, and the victims will win. So hit them in the purse. Gloria, oh my God, Trump fired Biden appointees in our government. Well, yes,
yeah,
that would happen. I mean, I'm sorry, I wasn't being cocky about that.
No, it's bound to. I'm just wondering how many high schools will be named Trump and how many high schools will be named Biden.
Well, I wouldn't send my kid to a high school named T. Rump.
No.
Okay. Barbie Pomales says, the fake news remark was a joke, blew all the way. Hello, Auntie Mel and Arthur. In what ways do you see the Lincoln Project and Media's touch expanding? Oh, huge.
Midas touch, yeah.
Midas touch, I'm sorry. Huge. George Conway, Kellyanne Conway's ex, he was a conservative, but he's going to be huge in the Lincoln Project, and he's going to be huge in speaking out, as will Liz Cheney and a lot of other Republicans.
Yeah.
So,
there's a lot of voices out there that are progressive that are not going to be able to go away. They're not going to be able to run around the town.
Oh, Midas Touch is going to be expanding like wildfire.
Yep.
Well, they have apps or channel on TV. I think they're going to stay on social media. They're more powerful that way.
Yeah.
But they will have apps. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, Ted.
Hi, Arthur and Mel. What do the guides recommend to do to ease the stress and anxiety the last couple of days? As an LGBTQ plus older person, I'm scared. Go ahead, Arthur.
I was going to say real quick, I've been recommending to everyone, there's that guided meditation I have called, letting go of stress and anxiety.
There you go.
It can help at this time.
Well, I came up with a thing on one of these shows. I said, love trumps hate.
Yeah. It was our show.
And teacher Barbara's sending me, somebody made this wonderful.
Yeah, I saw it.
And teacher Barbara is sending me a t-shirt with it. So thank you for the logo, and thank you. That means love over hate. And fear. I'm going to default back to my saying when I had cancer. I was really afraid, didn't know what to do. Nobody knew how afraid I was, but I was petrified. A few people did. But God, it looks like I have a bandage on my neck.
I was thinking the same thing.
It was a joke, actually, because it's so cold here. This has been in the closet. This whole thing's been in the closet for years. I like the little fringe on it, Little bling there, Ted. Little bling there, buddy. Wear our bling, Ted. We got to wear our bling. That's
Make it into an ascot.
Anyway, an ascot is right. When I had cancer, I was petrified. And I said to my guides, what? Please send me a message. And it came back, don't let the fear stand in front of you and hold you back. Let it get behind you and push you forward. And that's the message that I have to you, Ted, is that we cannot be paralyzed by this fear. We have to let it push it forward. We have to speak up, just like Bishop Buddy did, just like she spoke up for LGBTQ. We have to speak up for people who are going to be persecuted and put down by this administration. And if we give up and lay back and do nothing, then they win. We have to let our voices be heard and take action to stop. Now, how can you do that? Call the ACLU, write to your senators, speak up and say that that you're tired of this MAGA stuff. There's so much you can do. Volunteer at your local Democratic headquarters.
Also, volunteer for Trevor Project.
The what project?
Trevor Project.
Would you explain that?
Trevor Project is it's a hotline for people to call in that are LGBTQ plus, that are suicidal, that don't know what to do. They have no one to talk to, and there's somebody there to talk to. That's one of my charities, and that I donate to, and it's basically saved lives. So, and also to remember, Ted, we're not in this alone. We're all in this together. You've got a wonderful community here. Reach out to me, reach out to Mel, reach out to all of us if you ever get that point.
And talk to people like, Bishop Buddy. Talk to people, clergy that are LGBTQ friendly. There's a priest on YouTube who's incredible. Listen to Midas Touch. Listen to Glenn Kirshner. They won't silence our voices. They won't. Right. They'll try, but they won't succeed.
Yeah, there's a whole slew of them out there.
There's a whole slew of things. Anyway, let's put together a show so that maybe we can figure out ways where people can, in fact, have their voices heard and can, in fact, take action so they don't feel so victimized by all of this.
Okay. More on that.
Research on it, and we'll work on it. Sandra in Connecticut says, hi, Sandra in Connecticut.
Hi, Sandy.
Many say Trump is president, so his base will see who he is. But if they are in a cult, they are not able to see fault. Could the actual lesson be for the Dems? We did not act fast enough. Well, we needed to act fast enough. Yeah. That's true. That is a lesson, yes. But, I remember a story. There was this lady, I knew her years ago, and she grew up during the war in Nazi Germany. And I asked her what it was like. And she had this wonderful German accent. And she said, well, when we would leave our homes, we would change the station on the radio. Because if the Gestapo came in and found that you were listening to something that you should not have been, no questions asked. You were taken into the street and shot. And she said, I remember sitting in in the bomb shelter, and Finn, we would hear the Allied planes going over, and the bombs would fall, and the sirens were going off. We would shudder with fear. And I said, because you were afraid of dying? And she goes, no, because we were afraid that Hitler would win the war. And so the reason I bring that up is even a lot of people who were for Trump are going to be fearful what happens if he stays president, and fearful what's going to be happening in this country. And I think enough of us will take action so that it won't get to the point as to what happened in Germany.
I was talking to a friend last night about this, and she was going on, and I just said, look, it's kind of like battered wife syndrome. You make excuses, you're battered, you make excuses, then one day you just wake up and say, I'm done. And that's what it's going to have to take.
Absolutely. All right, Sherry. Okay, Kathy Reagans. Hello, fabulous, aloha, handsome duo. You know, Kathy, they say the eyes are the first to go, honey. No, just teasing. Arthur's handsome. I'm just like got this thing around my neck, looking like I've been in an accident or something.
No, you're like, what was it?
Let me fix my ascot.
Yes.
Let me fix my ascot here. There we go.
Yeah. Now you look like Dr. Bombay.
Yeah, right. I always wanted to be him, you know.
I guess if we do it now, what, Dr. Mumbai?
Mumbai. Calling Dr. Mumbai. Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, fabulous, aloha, handsome duo. Do you both see a large downturn in the economy because of the Orange Minion? We're going to go into an inflationary period. And I think we won't get into a depression, but a huge recession. It's not, you know, I'm still going to travel and do my trips and all that, but I see huge inflation coming. What do you think, Arthur?
On certain items, I feel they'll be rising, but I also feel people will be savvy and already taking steps, you know, to prepare for it. I don't see it as like all of a sudden it's like the grocery store shelves are empty and people are despondent and all that. And
no, I don't see
food,
that.
You know, I'm not seeing that.
No.
I don't see myself at a food kitchen or, well, maybe volunteering, but but you know what I'm saying? It's the thing is, though, we can't panic.
Right.
You know, that's what they want.
In any kind of emergency situation, when people panic, they lose their lives. We cannot panic. Now, here's what I'm doing. Like, eggs are so expensive, I just stopped buying them. You know, it's caused the cost of bread to go up. So what do? I make my own. I make 2 loaves a week of sourdough. And, you know, things like that. Because if we stop buying those products, then it's going to force the prices down. So
Right.
There you go.
I mean, look, during the pandemic, nobody was driving, so the price of gas came down, and Trump took credit for it, but it had nothing to do with him.
Correct. Christian Martinez. Hi, Christian. I love Lincoln. Lincoln assured me, his spirit assured me, justice shall prevail, our union will stand, and our democracy will hold. So, okay. President Sheinbaum of Mexico said that Americans are entering the country without a passport on the road. Ooh. Do you see Mexico turning Americans away for not carrying a passport? Will Mexico close the border? That's a really good question. You know, I was on Linda's show, or she was on my show. I forget. I was on her show yesterday. And I said, no, Trump's going to I'm going to put up a great wall. I said, you know what? It might be more like Mexico putting up a wall
Bus
and
out.
make and closing the border to us and making, so if we want to get there, we're going to have to get there in a roundabout way. And she's not going to be kidding about that. If he pulls too many shenanigans, she will close the border in a heartbeat. What do you think, Arthur?
And then the sale of flat screen TVs is going to skyrocket.
And fruit. And
because that's where most of them are made.
And everything.
But yeah, if you don't have a passport, they'll pick you up. It's only right. Just because you're an American, what? You're entitled to walk into another country without a passport?
Oh no, I have my passport with me all the time. So, okay, Nora Garcia. Hello, Mel and Arthur. Do you see Rasputin? I love that, Rasputin. Releasing information about Citolini.
I love this community. Nora, I love you people.
Nora, you get a free half-hour session on that one. Call my office, 847-590-5411. That is incredible. I'm going to use those in Citolini.
Citolini.
I love it. You should do comedy, Miss Nora, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Do
you see him releasing? I think he already has.
Oh, and there's more that's going to come out too.
Yeah.
And it's going to be like some of Trump's antics, behind closed doors, if you will, having to do with showers. And I won't go on. I don't want to get demonetized. And other
I'm in the Golden State of California.
And other things, yes. And a lot's going to come out, and it's going to be true. So, but I love Citolini. I got to use that.
And Rasputin.
Rasputin. That's cool. Thanks, Nora. Fran, now that he's in, he rules everything from the Supreme Court to our military. How do we get rid of him?
Get a doll, get some pins. No, just kidding. Most benevolent outcomes, people. Send him love and light so he can't take it anymore.
You know what? When I did happen to catch a glimpse of him on TV tonight, as I was eating, and I got rather nauseous.
That's a diet.
But there you go. That'll work. Take off weight. But he looks drawn and gaunt, and he really, really, really does not look well.
Mm.
And when I try to see any kind of long-term future for him, not because of his age, I can't see anything. And whenever I'm not shown anything, it means one, I'm not shown, or two, that he's not long for this earth plane. And I think it's number two, that he's not long for this earth plane. And that's exactly what he's full of, is number two. But he's not long for this earth plane. Entertainment purposes only.
And what have I been saying for the last 2 years?
Thank you.
You have to be alive to be a president.
Correct. So good question, Fran.
Yeah.
Mira, thank you so much for your insight. Are you saying the GOP trying to dissolve SSDI? I know what SSDI is. I used to be a social worker. Do you see it being successful? I believe it would have to go through Congress. They're going to try everything they can. It's funny. They call Social Security entitlement. What entitlement? People have worked and paid into it.
I'm entitled to it. You took the money away from me.
Thank you. And Medicare, that's not an entitlement. We pay for it.
Yeah.
We're not getting it for free. They're going to try to mess with it, but I don't see it being successful. I think it's got to go through Congress and it have to go through the court. So they'll try to mess with it, but I don't see success with that. Good question, Mira. Thank you.
And the more they mess with it, the more their base goes against them.
There was one that was going up. There we go. Yeah. Vivek left Doge to run for governor of Ohio. Was he pushed out by Muskrat? I mean, I thought he was going to run for governor of Ohio, but
Doge isn't a real entity anyway. So
right. but I don't see him winning.
No.
Doge is not a real entity. You're right. It's just an advisory thing, supposedly, to the president.
Yeah, by the two richest men in the world.
And I think
the prices.
Way of making, well, I think that was Trump's way of making them think that they had more power than they do. And if something goes wrong, who's Trump going to blame? Himself? No. He's going to blame DOGE. Well, they advised me. They're the ones that made the mistake. It wasn't me. That's what he's going to do.
The Democrats.
Right. Well, Doge was that whole thing they came up.
Yeah, well, whatever.
But I don't think Ramaswamy is going to win in Ohio. Suki Lau, hi.
Yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Will the Dems during midterms have a spine? Oh, they're going to grow things other than a spine. You'll see. I see Jasmine Crockett and AOC leading the charge on this one. And I'm seeing a leader of the Democratic Party who's going to be fiery and outspoken and a real go-getter. And that's what I'm picking up on.
More than a spine.
Oh, that's a good question. Will Trump impose the draft? There will be talk of it. But if he does, people are going to be protesting vehemently.
Do you think Barron will have to go?
Oh, I was just going to say he'll make his son exempt, of course. He'll talk of it. I'm not saying it, but he's going to talk of it.
Probably like, if you can't get a job that's worthy, you're going to have to go in the Army. It's crazy.
We got time for just a few more. Clarence Fields. Hi, Clarence. How are you? Will they take away food stamps, Medicaid, and Medicare? Well, they are going to try to cut Medicaid, and they're going to try to cut food stamps. But there's going to be such an outcry about it that they're not going to be able to do it to the degree that they want to. What do you think, Arthur?
No, I agree with it. It's like I've always said, these people are just mean.
It is.
Just mean. And they don't, they don't want people to think. They just want people to do.
Correct. Lisa Foster, will Trump be allowed to deprive aid to blue states for any kind of disaster? Oh, good question.
Going through that now.
He'll try it. But they're going to say, wait a minute, just because we're blue and we disagree with you, you can't cut aid to us.
But look how many people voted for you in California, you idiot.
True. And you know what? It'll go to court. And the courts are going to say, no, he can't withhold aid. If you're going to do it for one, you got to do it for everybody. He'll try. He'll try, Lisa. And that's what I'm talking about. If he does that, it's going to spur some governors to say, well, if you're not going to give us the aid we deserve because of natural disasters, and there's a lot coming, then, and you're taxing us and you're doing this and that, but you're not giving us the aid that we're supposed to have, then you know what? We're not going to pay you this tax money anymore. We're going to start cutting the fundings we're giving to you. And that's what I mean when they'll secede without secession, if that makes any sense. That's how
do you know how many red states California takes care of?
That's my whole point, that California is going to say no more Dulski to them.
Except the Democrats have always played fair. Oh, well, they didn't mean it. No, we're going to have to grow a spine.
And they will. Huge.
Yep.
Lena, will my people rise up against immigration, especially against these immigration raids? Yes, they will, Lena. Many of us will. It's just not your people. It's many of us people that will rise up. Absolutely.
Do you realize in 5 years from now how many independent films are going to be written about this?
Oh my God. And what the rest, I got messages from the UK. I got messages from Italy. I got messages from Slovakia, from Germany, all over. And people saying that they were just so upset they couldn't even watch it on television.
I have a client Actually, I have 2 in Denmark saying, "Do you want to buy some property?"
What, Iceland? Carolyn Booker says, no, wait. Chitolini. That's his name.
Yeah, that's it.
Chitolini. I'm going to use that one. I didn't think of it. One of our followers did. Chitolini will not touch the Lincoln Bible because Lincoln haunts him for him saying he was the best president since Lincoln. Yeah, I'm sure. No, Lincoln did not like that one. You got that right. Lincoln warned him, and he hasn't used it since. Ooh, and you know what, Carolyn? I got cold chills going up and down my body, and Lincoln is going to warn him about other stuff. And
I get him having some dreams.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Almost like a Christmas.
You got it. Oh well, let's hope Chitolini listens. But I heard
I'm going to get you a roadster and goggles for that scarf.
the Catholic bishop, not Booty, she's a lady, she can't be a bishop in the Catholic Church, but that he's the Archbishop of New York, and he's very conservative. And I saw him in an interview on that news channel, whose name I won't mention. Oh yes, Trump, he's very sorry, that assassination attempt really changed him, and I am sure that he is, a man of faith, or whatever he was saying. I'm like, let me throw up.
What assassination attempt? You mean the fake blood on his ear?
Yeah,
sorry.
You mean the back?
Well, unless he's an alien.
I mean, that archbishop does not represent what this Pope stands for.
No,
he should be ashamed of himself.
Well, did you hear the Pope did congratulate Trump, but then told him his immigration thing was disgraceful?
Well, I think there's protocol involved. Congratulations. However,
yeah, but he did say it's a disgrace.
Correct. And I am going to write to the Vatican and have a lot of people write to the Vatican about the comments of the Archbishop of New York and how, if he supports Trump, the things he's supporting, and it is not Catholic and it's not Christian. It's not Christian to pull people out of their homes, take their homes away from them, and uproot them,
and then sell the homes to other people.
Right, and put them in concentration camps, and that's exactly what he's going to try until they can be sent or to another country or deported in exile, if you will.
Do you remember Fulton Sheen growing up?
Yes, I do. Bishop Fulton Sheen.
Yeah. Scary.
Very. Donna Sauer says, I'm taken back to Paul McCartney's song, Let It Be, which came to him in a dream from his mother. Beautiful reminder that spirit surrounds all of us. Donna, thank you, thank you, thank you. Absolutely.
And I'm still praying to St. Jude.
Me too. He's my patron saint.
Mine too.
Oh, I'm Melvin Conrad Jude. Because we had the confirmation names. Remember that?
Yeah. When I almost died, I, as an infant, I almost died. My father prayed to St. Jude. I didn't know this. And then when I was 14, my father handed me a stack of holy cards and said, start passing these out. He saved your life.
Ooh, I've got a statue of St. Jude at my office. And I say novenas to him occasionally, and Padre Pio. And Saint Pope John Paul II.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Kelly Chuff says, will they actually be able to disband the Department of Education, or will it go to court?
It'll go to court.
Thank you. Thank you. We are creating a nation of mediocrity with what's going to soon be a substandard education system, but I see it brought up back to up to snuff once Chitolini is gone. Okay, we got time for I think we're over time. So
I have no life.
I'm sorry?
I have no life. We can answer one more.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's next question.
Next. Peggy, I have strong feelings that something huge will happen to 45 March. How do you feel about this?
I said earlier I felt something about March.
I've been having a feeling that something big is coming. Just like with the election, I kept saying something big is coming. I don't know what it is, and the election happened.
But it seems more positive for us than
big. Yes. And I don't know what it is.
Like Scanners 18, everybody's head's exploding.
Correct. And it's right around the corner, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's March, but
It'll be our birthday present.
I feel something huge as well. So I'll say yes. I don't know if it's March or not.
If it is, it's your birthday present.
Oh, I want to put this one up, and we're gonna leave it on this one. Mercury Angel says, "How can we stop being so mean to each other based on politics?"
Don't talk about it.
No, that's well, it's okay to stand up against injustice. It's okay to be angry and frustrated against injustice and intolerance. But I think what we can do is show that we can be just and tolerant, and we can be accepting of our LGBTQ friends, our Latino friends, our African American friends, and not to fall into, the chaos of Trump, but yet we can speak up against it but yet we can still be loving. What do you think?
I was going to say, but also when we talk to, I don't want to say adversaries, but people that may not agree with us and are very adversarial about it, not to go, but you're wrong. Just have conversation.
Well, that happened to me. Somebody, oh, you're wrong. And I'm like, well, I have the right to feel what I'm feeling and see what I'm saying, and the right to my opinion, just as you have the right to yours, albeit mine diametrically opposes yours.
Right, but it doesn't mean you have to start getting dirt clods and throwing them at each other.
Cheetolini wants us to hate each other, and he wants to create this anarchy, and he wants to create this dissension. He wants to create this polarity, and we have those of us. Many of us are going to be standing strong in love, peace, but speaking out. And that doesn't make us chaotic. It means we're speaking out against injustice, just like Dr. King did.
We'll be focused.
Correct.
Not scattered.
Look at Dr. King. In my opinion, he's an American saint. He really is.
Oh.
So let's follow the teachings of the great prophets. Let's follow the teachings of Dr. King and people like him. Nelson Mandela, look how he brought down apartheid in South Africa. If he can do that, so can we.
It's one person at a time.
Correct. It's one person at a time, but it starts here.
And we're all in this together.
Correct. We are. Anyway.
In the meantime, if anybody needs a reading, Mel's really good.
I'm on a rant tonight. I'm on a roll, and so is Arthur. And
hey, I've got openings. I'm here.
Down below, you'll see how to get a hold of us. And my infomercial, really quick.
Go for it.
I have openings for Peru and I have openings for Iceland. Please call my office at the number listed below. If you want a session with Arthur, he's amazing. Thumbs up, hit the subscribe button.
Yes, please. I just lost like 20 subscribers in the last 2 days. And it just and one of the persons called me and said, I was subscribed to you. I'm not subscribed anymore. So I'm like, well, subscribe again.
That kind of happens sometimes. Yeah. So everybody, if all of a sudden you're not subscribed, resubscribe.
Double check.
Hit that bell. All right. Sherry, I got to bring Sherry on real quick. Sherry, you're going to be on stage now. Hi, Sherry. Thank you for doing your work. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Oh, well.
I forgot to unmute my mic. I said, just don't look at the mess behind me. Everything just keeps getting thrown on the bed today. So
look at mine. There's a huge mess behind me too. There you go. My horizontal closet.
If you only saw the other side of this
I got like 5 pairs of gloves sitting out drying because it's our go outside to play a few minutes And I come in and I have to change out the gloves because they're soaking wet.
I'll take the snow over this cold, okay? I'd rather have the snow.
I am still gobsmacked. I have never seen snow like this before. Never. And this
Well,
is historical. This is historical. They said
obviously,
that
you've never
it's
been.
never been this much snow this far south in Louisiana since recorded history on weather down here.
Well,
So,
obviously, you've never been to Chicago in the winter, girlfriend.
no, I haven't. I went to the Chicago airport once, and
Not even in
it was in
Chicago.
May. Yeah, it is not even in Chicago,
So everybody in
and that was in May. So
everybody in Louisiana, they don't have the snow equipment removal we have here. So stay in. You know, I'm
oh,
telling you,
they actually the local authorities started issuing warnings today that all roads are closed unless it's an emergency that you need to get to emergency help or something. Do not get on the roads because people were trying to go out and drive in it to video it, and they were getting in wrecks left and right. I mean, hell, cops were getting in driving off the roads because it was snowing so hard. I mean, it was blowing sideways. We were under blizzard warnings. And it was so deep, so fast that you couldn't see where the road and the ditches were. Because, down here, we got these big, huge ditches on each side of the road to deal with the water. So I'm sure we'll be like next week, we'll all be walking around in rain boots for the flooding as everything starts thawing out. But it was fun. It was so
here in
fun.
a blizzard, we do stay in, but the snow plows are out. But for us, driving on snow is not bad. It's the black ice that gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and that's it. We don't have snow plows. We don't have de-icing trucks. We don't have snow shovels. We don't have snow tires or anything like that to deal with that down here. So it's even that much more dangerous. But I think I posted like 6 or 7 shorts today, like a minute and a half long, of just going outside and playing in the snow. Going outside, playing in the snow.
Everybody, you can go outside and play in the snow, make snowmans, but make sure you're bundled up. Here in Chicago, it is so cold. It's going to be warmer tomorrow. We're having a heat wave. It's going to be 25. The high today was 4, and it was like 25 below with the chill factor. So
I think our high was 25.
So people here in Chicago, please stay in. Don't go out unless you absolutely have to, because anything left exposed for at least 20 minutes, you can get frostbitten. Louisiana, where in the southern states where you're getting all this snow, do not go out unless it's an absolute emergency. I know the snow is beautiful, but it can be very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, you want to go out for a few minutes and play, or let your kids play or something, that's one thing, but then get back in the house and warm up.
If you're elderly above a certain age, do not shovel snow, because here in Chicago, we know that, because that is the recipe for a heart attack. So
yeah, big time.
Anyway, Sherry, I'm glad you're well. Arthur, I'm glad you're well.
Yeah.
I have got my ass.
I love your scarf. Mine's drying over there.
All right.
I've gone through all my scarves and all my gloves, rotating them out.
Things behind the scenes. Arthur, next week
you're welcome.
Yep. Same bat time, same bat channel.
I'll be back behind the scenes.
Contact Arthur for a reading. Contact Sherry. Go to their.
I have openings, so
visit their channel.
swampwoods@gmail.com.
And
just email me.
I'm here. So
and Mel is there.
Here I is.
And Mel is there.
All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, everyone.
I love y'all too. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.